Homeschooling is overwhelming enough without drowning in teachers' manuals, teacher guides, and instructions. Welcome back to Making Everyday Magic. My name is Shanna, and if you are new here, we are a homeschooling family of 4. We are entering our 8th year of homeschooling with a 7th and a 3rd grader. And today I want to talk with you about why I do not use as prescribed. Guys, before we go any further, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. I would like to start this video with one of my all-time favorite analogies. If you don't know, cosmetologist is my training. I am a licensed cosmetologist, hairstylist, essentially. And one of my favorite things that I have always told people, if you compliment someone's hair and they're like, oh, well, this isn't my natural hair. Oh, this isn't my real hair. Oh, this isn't my hair. It's yours if you paid for it. It's your color if you paid for it. It's your hair, even if it's extensions, because you paid for it. You paid for it. You own it. It is yours. You rock it. You make it what you want it to be, okay? And I feel like that analogy perfectly represents today's video. So let's talk about how and why I do not use as prescribed. So the idea of homeschooling is overwhelming enough. When you are deciding whether or not you should shoulder the burden of your children's education, that is a really, really big deal. And anybody who came to that decision lightly, maybe check yourself. But I don't know a single person who even just, whether or not they decided to put homeschooling into practice, didn't sit with that decision in a heavy manner that was honestly overwhelming. It is a big, big deal to choose homeschooling. And it is a really, really big deal to try to sort through things like teacher's guides, to find out the actual nuts and bolts logistics of how in the hootenanny are you gonna make this happen. Not only should you, would you, could you, how, just how. And today I am going to talk to you about one of the most important things that I do, which is not used as prescribed. Now, let me explain. You know what, let me give you an example. First of all, you order a curriculum piece. If you order a curriculum piece and you get, this is just an example, because I have another example sitting right behind here. So this is true of every single thing I have ever ordered ever. Here is an example, and I'm just using this as an example. This is one level, the third level of Michael Clay Thompson's language arts, okay? So this is one subject, language arts, for one child, for 1 year. These are just the teacher's guides, okay? These are just the instructor manuals. This, and keep in mind that this is for everything, so it's not specific to this program, okay? It is not specific to this program, because I have our Algebra 1, I'm staring at it right now behind the camera, our Algebra 1 Math UC has 2 instructor manuals, okay? That alone is overwhelming, okay? So just the amount of information contained in these books is overwhelming. On top of overwhelming homeschool decision, actually homeschool, all of that, on top of that, it is already overwhelming. Then we add in explanations of how you should use them. So usage schedules and stress abounds. So, and I love that they include this for you. I do. For example, let me find a good week here. For example, week 11, for example, have the child do 4-level analysis of a few sentences and 4 practice for literature. Writing, have the child review the first part of chapter 1 and then continue reading in the chapter through the section called paragraph edges, stopping after page 46 just before the page that begins paragraph beginnings. Have the child complete the 14 paragraph edges exercises and go over the answers together. Vocabulary, have the child review lesson 4 and complete the remaining activities afterward, given the quiz for that lesson. Literature, have the child read pages 26 through 49 of the Murders of the Rue Morgue. That's 1 week for 1 subject, for 1 child. And that is stressful. Okay? Okay. So let me explain to you, we're gonna pause right here. We're gonna pause right here, and I'm going to explain to you what the instructor manuals are for, because people think that I have purchased it, I have received it. The instructor manual is telling me what to do. And it is, but it's more like a guide. Okay, so it's a guide, it's a suggestion. I just wanna point out to you that if you went down the street and you are an elementary school teacher and you ordered all of the things that you needed and they all came into your class, you would look at them and you'd be like, well, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do some of this. It is a suggestion, but not even like a full suggestion, because even in the Michael Clay Thompson program, it tells you cannot do everything, don't do everything, please don't do everything. You will drown, don't do everything, don't do everything, don't do everything. This is not that you should be checking every single box, doing every single thing. They are providing you with all of the information available to them so that you have all of the information to use as you see fit, okay? They are not saying you must do this, you must do this, you must do this, you must do this, you must do this. It's a you could. Here's how it could work. Here's how we think is best. But guess what? If there was a one-size-fits-all approach to any single thing, let alone every single thing, every school, everywhere would be doing it. Every child would have absolute educational success. There would only be one way to do everything, and it would be the right way. And that is absolutely 100% absolutely not the case. So I am here to tell you, do not use as prescribed unless that's the way that works for you. But what I want you to do is I want you to take all of this information and I want you to just sit with it and be like, you know what? I will not do that. For example, our Michael Clay Thompson program, I will not do that. I will not do that in that manner. The way that I have found Michael Clay Thompson works best for us, and the way that I have used it in the past, is that we start with the first book and we read one chapter a week. And then by the end of the year, we have made it through all the chapters. And that works for us. Of course, specifically on this program, I will be coming back and sharing with you an actual usage once we start using it, but that's the plan. That's the way it's always worked. That's how we used Poodle last year. One chapter, then the next. I do not sweat. I do not stress. We do exactly what works for us. In another example, in our Math You See program, in the past, we have watched the lesson together, done the first A worksheet together, and there's like so many worksheets, and there's a lesson test every week and unit tests all the time. No, we do not do that. If she does great on the first one, we skip the second one, and on the second day we do the third page. If she does great on that, we skip the fourth one, and on the third day we do the fifth page. We do 4 sheets a week and only do unit tests, do not do lesson tests, and we have found success up until this point. We are not drowning in math, and that is something I am very thankful for. So I want to remind you, don't use it as prescribed. Why? Because you will hate yourself, your kids will hate you, everyone will hate homeschool, you will give up, you will send them back, and then their teacher's gonna do the same thing you should have done in the first place, which is tailor-make the education you want for your kid. It is so important that you use things in the manner that works for you, because if it doesn't, if you're not using it in the manner that works for you, it won't work, okay? So I really need you to sit with it and think about how best it will serve you, because you bought it, you paid for it, you get to use it how you want to. You own it. It does not own you. By homeschooling, you have the freedom. You have the freedom to tailor make this education for you, for your home, for your homeschool, for your child. And you may use something differently with your first kid that you use differently for the second kid, and that is okay. If your kid learns best through videos, do more video things. Please do not try to do it all, and please, if it's not working, change your approach. If you guys have been here for any period of time, you will know that I have a pivot or quit it formula. And what I like to say is, if we're doing something and it's not working for us, but I can pinpoint how I could change it to improve our situation, then that is a pivot approach. If we are using something that we absolutely hate, that I cannot figure out how to change to make it better or make it suit our lives in any way possible, or we've already tried to make those changes and it still isn't working for us, that is when we decide to quit it. So I really would love to hear your thoughts on this. What are the things that you have started using, changed the way you've used it? What is the thing that you don't even use at all the way they said that you should? What are those things? Because the rest of us need to hear that. It's really easy for newbies, for younger people, and I think even as you continue homeschooling, it's really easy to slide into that slippery slope of modeling what you think it should be instead of living your best life with what it can be. So Please share down below. How are you doing this? What have you modified? How have you modified it? What's the thing you quit? Because you were like, you know what? It is not worth it to me. I would love to know. So guys, I hope that you found any of this helpful, entertaining, or informative. If you did, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. Don't let the instructor manuals terrify you. The first real oh my gosh that I had was the Mazdas program for my daughter's 2nd grade year. It was 2 giant books. It was so much information. It made me sweat, and I do have a video here. But had I tried to do everything in that book, even if I had just tried to read every word in the book out loud, it would have been an absolute flippin' nightmare. So what we did with that program is we broke it down. Again, I've got a video here highlighting that. But it was really my first foray into understanding that I can use things the way I need to, because if not, it's just not gonna work. So I want to come here and share with you why and how I do not use as prescribed, because I know that it will save someone else some grief. This is your permission. This is your hall pass. Do what you want with what you bought. It's yours. You own it. Bye, guys.